When we men get rejected, the tendency is to act like a pouty little bitch.
And get mad. And that's like, you're not ever going to get it. That's how the way
passive aggressive, mad, whatever. Here's the linear thinking. Guy and gal love each other. They're hot for each other. He stops doing attractive things and starts doing unattractive things. Her attraction starts to go down. He then still asks for the same thing, but there's no attraction. He gets rejected. He starts to become a pouty little passive aggressive bitch. All he's thinking about is what he doesn't get and doesn't have anymore. And so he's just hoping to get laid. And then if he doesn't, he goes, fuck it. And he gets starting getting really, really angry. He's the one who started all of it, doesn't know how to fix it. They don't literally know how to change this. It's dark and it's depressing, and the guy's like, why don't you like me? Here's what she's thinking, and tell me if I'm right. I want to like you.
Yeah.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me. Ballin' like Houston, ayy, feeling like Whitney. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh, send it through quickly. I'm making his dog, like I'm in the big leagues.
Welcome to another episode of the Married Game Podcast. We are the voice you trust when it comes to lust, and we are who you hire when she lacks desire.
Never. He wants me to say it.
Oh,
I don't
Jesse
want to.
Joy.
Too cheesy.
Come on, girl. Wow. Here we are, another episode. Raining like crazy outside, like cats and dogs. And that's encouraging. So I got to wear my pumpkin spice latte coat.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just so much.
Well, it's because I'm a player.
Okay.
Which is what we want to talk about today.
There you go.
It's so much funny.
Oh, no.
You and Garrett's energy is so similar but so different. It's
like just so chill and perfect and amazing.
Oh
and
my God, here we go.
just-
All right,
just
so
love us so
listen,
much.
something
Thank you so
I did
much.
the other day, I was a little high, so it was a little off. But
I thought I wanted to tell that.
okay, I was going to set the context and let you tell the story.
So anyways, we were going to have sexy time, but we knew it. We were anticipating it. And I was trying to push the button to the gate to open the gate to go to our house. So I pushed the button and he goes, oh, I love the way that finger pushes the button.
I did not say that, but I said something similar.
What'd you say?
I'm like, ooh, look at the way you push that.
That's pretty much the same thing.
Okay. I'm trying to make it sound sexier because it's
But
really
it's not
embarrassing.
sexy at all, is my point.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? And you said, I'm trying to flirt with you.
Yeah.
I was like,
But it was
because you knew we were going to, have
Yeah.
fun. And you were trying to flirt with me. I go, that's flirting. And then I was thinking about it and I said, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that to someone on your first or second date to get them to have sex with you?
And I said I did, and she got up and left.
Yeah. And no, you wouldn't again.
No,
and
hell no.
And then I said, well, why would you say that to me?
'Cause I was
Did
high
that
as-
turn me on?
Yeah, because I was high, and I was.
Which is lame too.
What?
Which is lame too, because you act cheesy, and I'm like,
I
how am I
know,
supposed to
man.
get all into it?
Well, that actually happened one time. I was with a lady, and I was so high, and we were on the couch, and I started talking to her about like how amazing it is that a seed turns into a flower, and like, you know how I get.
Oh yeah.
And she goes like this. She goes, I gotta go. I go, where are you
Wow.
going? She goes, I think I've seen enough.
That sounds like me
That
in the
was the
nighttime.
second.
When you're too high, I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm gonna hit the hay there, big boy. Well,
Have a good night.
yeah, well, a player can't be 100% all the time, and so the fact that
Ooh.
one time I said something really cheesy, you're like, we got to talk about that on the podcast.
I wouldn't say one time, but
Okay,
when you're
one-
high, you
I say some stupid stuff.
yeah.
Which is, but I also say some really smart things when I'm
Oh
high.
wow.
Yeah, and okay, so that's the player knob. So that was a huge turn on.
So I
but-
said that to you thinking I had talked to a couple different people and some men will say jokes and there's a fine line between like too goofy or creepy.
Mhm.
And it all depends on the context or how
Yeah.
your relationship is at that time even.
For
You can
sure.
say the same thing one time and say something like that later.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm just laughing. I'm laughing at the fact that even though you and I are like so comfortable and so sexual and all the things that we do, that even I say some stupid shit sometimes.
Right.
I'm like chuckling at the fact
Oh,
that.
you're human.
Well, I know I'm human, but I'm only human.
Oh,
Is that the
wow.
one?
Sure.
Okay, I hit it. I hit the note.
That's what I'm talking about.
What? But this concept of being a player, it's one of our dials. And when people listen to our podcast, I want to start kind of hitting some of the dials, and starting to have them hear a little bit of your expertise on these dials, on A, things I've messed up, B, things I've done well. And I've got a whole history of both. And I think it's kind of entertaining, actually, and comical that we can make fun of me here on the show, because a lot of guys, they do look into our relationship and go, well, shit, I want a Jesse. Or at least I want my wife to respond to me like Jesse does to Keith.
And to have fun and to play.
Yeah. And
you
so,
player.
So this is a dial that most guys really mess up. Like they can figure out the parenting thing. A lot of guys are like, I'm a pretty good dad. The partnering thing, they usually mess that up, even though they kind of give themselves more credit for it than they really actually get. The producer dial, you either know if you're driven and ambitious or you're not. But the player dial is the dial that I think not only do guys mess up so much, that and the power dial, but I don't know that they actually understand what it really means to be a player within the marriage, because they weren't a player before they got married. Right. I was a player before I got married. Mm-hmm. And with you. So it's like I played the field. I understand it. I understand the psychology of how it works. But I wasn't even showing up as a player within our marriage for a really long time. Mm-hmm. So when you hear the word the player within your marriage, and we talk about, you're so stupid. Remember yesterday, I'm like, it's like this. You're like, you mean the game? Or was that this morning?
This morning.
Oh,
we're getting ready.
Yeah. And so.
You mean being a player?
Yeah.
Like play the game, married game?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So when you hear the word player within our context, how do you describe it? What does that look like to you? What does it look like from the female brain?
I love it because I like to have fun, and that keeps things spicy, fun, interesting. So when you get too comfortable, not you per se, in relationships, gets too comfortable, you forget to keep things sassy or interesting, or send a flirty text and not such an aggressive text because you're so comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But something innuendos. So I love that. I think that's kind of like how, of course, all the problems and everything we've been through is why we wanted to create this. But this is such a huge thing. That's why we said married game. It's like keeping it fun, because long relationships do get boring.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite thing.
It's they have the potential to get really boring. They also have the potential to become even more amazing. Like I think about our sex now, and I did a What We Believe video for the new website that I actually think it comes out today, which I think you'll be really, really impressed with. It looks amazing. But that being said, I talk about what I believe. What do we believe here at Married Game? And one of the things we believe is that marriage can be a joy. And that marriage can get better the longer you're together. That sex can get better the longer you're together. But those words are almost like acts of rebellion to what the society and what our cultural norm is. That when people hear me say marriage can be a joy, they're like, not mine. Sex can get better with your relationship. They're like, oh, that's definitely not what we've heard, and that's definitely not what I'm experiencing. And that you can grow more intimate together as you play, as you grow older. And people are like, well, I don't even know what that's like anymore. Like they haven't had a belly laugh with their partner in a really long time. So when you think of player, and you think of when I show up to be this player, what are some of the things that you notice about me when I'm more in player mode than when I'm not?
Like when you're too high, that all the playerness goes right out of you.
Yeah.
And
is that because I don't have a filter and I just talk?
Yeah. And your thinking is so far off, so that's why I'm like, he's so high, and it turns me completely off. Mm-hmm. When you're not, and you're smart, and you're talking, and you're listening, and engaging in a great conversation, like I love that. To send fun, flirty texts, like I said, not too aggressive. Those are
not too aggressive at the start, because they can get really aggressive.
Sure.
Yeah.
At the start, I just like things. Like I think a lot of women like things softer to the ear,
covert.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, what does he mean? Or it's like because you're thinking, and now it's a game, right?
Yeah. So a lot of what being a player has to do with what's going on inside your head as the buildup of whatever that is. Is that what you're saying?
Ooh, yeah.
It is a mind game.
Yeah, because women have sex up here, and that's more like foreplay two women, right?
Yeah.
So
well, the build-up and anticipation and waiting for something to happen could damn near be the greatest feeling on planet Earth. I understand the release is great and we love that, but why? Here's what I'm going to notice on two things. Number one, if a guy has a scarcity mindset towards intimacy and sex with his wife, he will look at the ejaculation at the finish. He will look at that like the prize because he doesn't know when he's going to get that again with her.
And that energy behind it is so needy.
It's so needy.
It's so
if he switches it and he becomes a true player within his marriage, he realizes, well, I don't even have to ejaculate tonight. Just snuggling and wrestling and playing or whatever we do can be so much fun.
And that's so attractive. Just that energy.
Yes. Because now there's it literally releases the pressure. And so now two people can actually play with one another and like truly like play, which is what we're saying as a player within our context. So that's the first thing. If he doesn't understand that he's going to get it again, he's only seeking, and again, the stench of taker energy starts to come over. Number one. Number two, he usually will place and I've done this before, so I'm speaking from personal experience, and when I say guys do this, it's me, and you're shaking your head going, it is you.
All these things. Yeah, we've been through it all.
And that taker energy kind of overtakes because he's got a time frame. It has to happen now. And there's an exercise that I take the guys in married game through. I want to show it to you real fast. And I say, because they act like pouty little bitches. When we men get rejected, the tendency is to act like a pouty little bitch.
And get mad. And that's like, you're not ever going to get it. That's how the way
passive aggressive, mad, whatever.
Right.
And that's what leads to their here's the linear thinking. Guy and gal love each other. They're hot for each other. He stops doing attractive things and starts doing unattractive things. Her attraction mechanically and wire starts to go down. He then still asks for the same thing, but there's no attraction. He gets rejected. He starts to become a pouty little passive aggressive bitch. Then all he's thinking about is what he doesn't get and doesn't have anymore. And so he's just hoping to get laid. And then if he doesn't, he goes, fuck it. And he gets getting really, really angry. He's the one who started all of it. Doesn't know how to fix it. This is why so many men are frustrated. Why I think a lot of guys think, and quote unquote, we're doing the Lord's work. Yeah. Because they're like, they don't literally know how to change this. That
vicious cycle.
It's downward, and it's dark, and it's depressing. And the guy's like, why don't you like me? And she's like, here's what she's thinking, and tell me if I'm right. I want to like you.
Yeah.
I wish you knew what those crazy people on Married Game Podcast were actually talking about.
Yeah.
So that way I could like you again. And then what happens is he's going only for the thing. He's acting pouty and aggressive, passive aggressive. But here's the interesting thing. If he just had a no big deal attitude because there was an abundance, it would just flow so much more. And a lot of guys are like, but I don't have a no big deal attitude. And you know what I really believe? I think our culture and our society has conditioned them to believe that sex is the end all be all of everything because they sexualize everything. And I want to help guys get out of that. I know you have a raging boner when a hot chick walks by. No shit. You also want to eat every Butterfinger in the supermarket. You want to eat every last apple pie. But just because you want to do it doesn't mean it's good for you to do it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what do you think about all that?
I agree. Totally.
Yeah, but there was a question in there that I lost as I was talking about the linear
frame. But I wanted to say, I say this a lot in different things, and I know it's hard to get back to how that relationship started, but if you try to get there, like I was saying that you were saying that we're so comfortable that I touched the button. Ooh, look at that button. But would you have said that if we had first started dating? No. So go back to that. Try to go back to that mentality. I know there's a lot of underlying things and fights. But if you just go back to that, then like the relaxed feeling, the trying, the doing things for her, but not to get something just because you love her situation, it will flow. It's a natural thing that humans have.
Yeah.
Well, to want to have sex.
That's the exercise I was going to talk about. That's where I pick back up. and by the way, you're right, because early on in a relationship when it's dating, both people do want sex. Like, that's the crazy thing is guys think that women don't want sex. I've hung around you and your friends. I've hung around a lot of women, and frankly, you guys like talking about it, and you actually, if I was thinking about this last month, you actually do more sexual innuendos to me than I do to you.
It's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
But it's because you're comfortable and you know that just because you do an innuendo, I don't go, oh, you want to go have sex? Oh, you want to go have sex? Like, there's no need like that.
Because there was a time where I didn't, and I would hide even to get undressed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my God, he's going to want to do it. It's so like the energy from you is too much, and I don't want to.
No, so the exercise is this.
I would hide to get dressed. That's crazy.
And I had no idea, and I would feel so hurt that you didn't want me. And you're like, bro, you're the one who's causing this big, dark, fucking rainy cloud. The reason I got to put my raincoat and my umbrella on is because of you.
Yeah, like you're not doing shit at all for the relationship, but for me, and you want me just to give it up too. So I was like,
yeah, dude, that's so true. The exercise is this. Man asks wife, hey, would you like to have sex today? And she goes, oh, I'm really tired. In the grand scheme of things, step back. You don't get to have sex for one night. Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you pouting about? Mm-hmm. The reason he's pouting, and I know you know this, but I want to connect with the guys here, and I want them to hear you say this. The reason he's pouting is because he doesn't know when he's going to get it next. It's the unknown scares the little boy in him, and he goes, I don't know when I'm going to get this next. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't feel like he has control over when he can actually get it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, guys who weren't a player before their marriage, they don't understand this, that you have to have an abundant mindset. It's like, hey, if you don't want to have sex with me, you don't have to. Mm-hmm. But those 17 other girls do. And so when you're playing, you're single and you can play the field, there's an abundance mentality. It's like, well, I'm not going to settle for, like, why would I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then they feel trapped. Because like the one person I'm only allowed to have sex with doesn't want to have sex with me. Mm-hmm. What the ever-loving fuck? And so that continues to hammer into their narrative. This is a scarce resource that I can only get if I'm on my best behavior.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Now, where do you think the women could come in and help a man alleviate some of that? Because we do have like 25% of our audience is women.
There's a couple of things I want to say on that. I think if they talked and she was explaining all the things that she needs, but he was there to listen and hear her, maybe he would get it better, and maybe she would feel heard and get the things that they need in their relationship. Another thing that I do in our relationship, if I don't feel like it in the night, I say, can we do it tomorrow during this time? So a rain check.
Yeah, rain check.
Yeah. And that helps us because we're like, oh, okay, we'll get it tomorrow. We're exhausted right now, or we're doing something, or the kids are around or whatever. So
you mentioned something about would I do that on a first or second date? And here's what's interesting. I actually think we would be put out of business tomorrow, and I would gladly go out of business tomorrow if people understood this one concept and everybody lived it. If everybody lived what I'm about ready to tell you, married game's done, and we'll go buy apartments and we'll go create wealth another way. Here's how it is. You ready? If you acted like you were dating all the time.
Me specifically?
Anybody.
Okay.
If two people acted as if they were dating like they were dating in the beginning, they would never have they would have to work through shit, of course, because we have differences in baggage and what have you. But the fire would still be there. And this is what people do, and I hate that they do this, but I don't hate it because I did it, and I just want to bring light to it. They think honeymoon sex or early dating, what makes that time there? There's butterflies in the stomach to see one another. They're excited. They're like pumped, right?
Anticipation.
The anticipation, the buildup, the finally, oh my God, the whatever, the newness, the novelty of it. But it's things that they did that created that. And they don't realize that they think it's a time period that comes and goes when it's actually a set of skills and actions that can remain, but they stop doing it.
Playing the game.
As if you're dating. Like, hey, you know what? Jessie probably would love if one of her favorite bands, a band tee, just showed up in the mail and I'm like, I thought of this. I thought about you and I got you this.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
he thought about me. That's being a player. One of the things that we talk about being a player within Married Game is obviously having the fun, but a lot of guys come back and go, hey, but I'm not funny like you. I'm not a stand-up comedian. And I use that term I use that term very, very loosely. Yes,
Yeah.
I did a lot of comedy and I did do stand-up for a couple hundred shows on the biggest shows. But I have so much respect for real stand-up comedians that I'm like, yeah, I did stand-up, but like a real stand-up comedian, those guys are on a way different
You did
level.
fake stand-up.
I did fake stand-up.
Yeah.
I did the CNN of stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
Where was I going with that? Oh, they go, Keith, we're not funny like you. And my advice to them is create a container where she can have fun. You don't have to be, live at the Chuckle Hut with whoever. It's create a container. Do you feel that I do that for you?
Yes, I was even thinking because you're on stage and you speak, like you get the attention, you're funny on there. The way I fulfill mine, like we like to go out, I dance. I love that you more step back, let me do my thing, but you watch me, you're engaged, you're loving it. So that it feels like new when we do that stuff. I'm dancing for you, you like it, it feels like fresh.
Well,
so yes, we create the container of having fun. We also like to go out and have a lot of fun. I feel like I'm just made of fun. So
you are, and you got beautiful fun bags.
Thank you.
That being said, I'm thinking back to the time when we went to the Sidecar in San Diego with our buddies. Remember we were there with all our guys from the
that's what I was thinking
we did.
of.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
All right, I did too.
Yeah,
that's probably the last time we went out and did something like a dancing like that.
Crazy, yeah.
Some guys might be thinking, "Hey, I'm not a dancer. I don't do." Listen, the reason we do it is because Jessie likes it. If you didn't like dancing, I probably wouldn't go dancing.
No, you would never go.
But
I had to make you go.
But you do love it.
I love it,
and I do go.
And now you love it because I love it.
I also love my dancing now.
It's better.
I'm not in my head about it. Like, I don't care if you think I'm a good dancer or not. The best dancer is the one that's having the greatest time, in my opinion. And so I've learned, to sway with the beat, and I'm getting better. But you love it so much, and you like the attention you get when you dance, and I like watching you get the attention, and I like that I know you're dancing for me.
You're giving all them our little secrets.
Well, I want them to understand that this is how we think and why we do certain things, because the only reason why these guys are watching and why they're not getting laid the way they want to, although there are some that are probably making some progress by listening to this, the reason why they're not where they go, that's where I want to be, and why so many guys call up and say, hey, I might have a good relationship, but I want a great one.
Right.
Is I want them to know how we think. The reason they don't have it is because they don't believe certain things, and their belief has created a behavior and a blockage in what they're actually trying to create. Mm-hmm. And so when I think of a player, he creates a container for fun, which means, hey, maybe we're going putt-putt golfing. Maybe I always encourage people, even if you are a great conversationalist, and we have a product now that's coming out about how to become a great conversationalist. And the beautiful thing about this is I said, even if you are a great conversationalist, stack the deck in your favor and go do things that are enjoyable together and semi, if not all the way competitive.
Mm-hmm. That's our favorite.
Well, it's most people's favorite. And you know what I came up to realize yesterday? I was talking with the guys on our call 2 days ago. I said, I actually think that shit talking is a woman's favorite, is a woman's love language too, if it's done right.
Yeah.
If you're just like, fuck you, you're ugly, that's not shit talking.
Because sometimes you're super annoying when we play board games.
Yeah, well, because losing people who lose don't like the winners.
That's not true at all.
Oh, okay. What was it then?
You see what I'm saying? See what I mean?
I love winning though.
But what about when we did the race cars too? I completely beat you.
You're not even close.
Yeah, completely.
Oh my God.
My numbers, I was faster.
You had a better average time, but I lapped you.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
At any rate, we can pull up the actual facts on that one.
Shit talk in front of everyone right here.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think a guy should start doing if he's saying, hey, you know what? My player dial isn't that good right now, what do you think the first couple steps are that he should start to take?
Number one, calm down if you don't get sex.
Okay.
I mean, that's such a turn off all the way.
Yeah.
And then create some fun in your relationship.
Okay. How? What's the steps? How would they? What?
I love that you always want steps or frameworks or give me all the things.
I have
I'm
some in
just
my
spitballing.
mind. I know, and I'm not entirely spitballing because this is what I teach every day to the guys, and so do you. But if a guy comes to you and says, "Hey, what's the first step I need to becoming a player?" What would you tell him?
Create some fun.
Okay.
And how? Do something that you haven't done together, like golf or whatever. Batting cages, race cars. Like everybody wants to have fun.
Yeah.
Do something different. Go shoot some guns. I don't know.
Do something together that would be fun. What would be fun? Well, there's a million things.
Yeah.
We also have a product coming out about how to make dates amazing.
Remember we killed zombies?
Yes.
That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun,
That was
man.
so much fun.
We have a lot of memories of a lot of fun things we did together. And the reason why I'm sharing with you guys about creating the container, because I know a lot of you guys aren't probably that funny. And some of you guys, frankly, might not be that fun to be around as you stand. And that's a real thing as well. But a lot of our best memories are you and I going and experiencing the thing together, either for the first time or second or third time, but we're like, oh my God, we love that experience.
Like traveling too bonds people because it's just you two out in the world and you have to rely on each other for things.
Yeah.
And then you're in the hotel and you're in a small room and you're eating and drinking and having fun.
I prefer the suites.
Whatever. I love traveling too.
Yeah.
Getting hotel rooms.
Hotel sex is the best sex. It really is. It's like, it's just so fun. So guys, you don't have to be the funniest motherfucker on planet Earth, but you do need to take them to places that are fun. The first thing I would say when it becomes becoming a player is you have to adopt a mentality that says, what do men who every woman want to fuck, what is common amongst them? What is common amongst guys who want that ladies want? And so we call it the M16. Have you seen the new one we just created?
No.
It's the M16 Elements of Attraction checklist. And we go through boom, 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 and we create. And one of the things in there is merriment. Merriment is like, the word Merry Christmas comes from this word merriment, which is just full of joy, full of fun, full of laughter. There's merriment. It's an older English word. Have you heard of it before?
No.
Merriment. It's just full of laughter and joy and fullness. You got to have that mentality first of, hey, I want to create this. And then the second thing is you've got to stop doing things that cancel fun.
Yeah.
Meaning be the cranky, uptight dickhead. You
have too many rules.
I know. I've been that guy.
Yeah.
I can be both. I can be
you're
absolutely
so
rigid,
insanely different. It's so crazy.
Disciplined. Don't fuck with my protocol. Get the fuck out of my way.
And I'm like, I need to go out. Let's go.
Hey man, if we end up back home at 5 a.m.
Or you're like,
great.
Let's have a party at our house, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little unpredictable.
Very.
Which is also one of
when
the
we have our
called
calls,
mystery.
Oh my God, no. When we have our calls with our guy, our wizard, I'm like, I sometimes and recently have started off our calls with, I'm with a maniac, and
Yep.
How are you guys? I'm with a maniac. So
I'm with a maniac or psychopath is what you call me. This player dial seems to be one of the things that goes out first, that kind of dies out first within marriages.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think is the first step is to start to have a date night. Like, hey, I'm going to take you, we're going to go out and go do something. A lot of guys are bad at conversational. So if you guys need that product, which you are, it's going to be really cheap, like low budget, high quality, but low budget. A lot of people can't afford the higher investment of our actual coaching. Even though I'm going to be really candid with you, if your relationship isn't where it's supposed to be, you figure out how to get into a program like ours and show the universe, show yourself, show your spouse that you actually give a shit and get the training and the skills you need to grow and become this guy.
Hell yeah.
It's mind-blowing to me that men are like, yeah, my family's my most important, and yet they haven't invested a fucking dollar.
You pay now or pay later in some way.
You're going to pay, and pay in pain.
I know.
The misery and pain that you and I have been through.
And the therapy.
For
and the
what?
Divorce and the kids.
For what? Because of me.
And pay now before you have so much resentment build up that you got to get over that. And that's harder.
You know what's interesting is the mindset of people is this, and there's another player mindset. Everything we do together is an investment in each other. That builds up equity to where I can go, hey, you know what? Like I could say, hey, I'm really, really horny right now. And in the right context, the right time, you'd be like, let's handle that. Let's rather, it's because there's so much equity built up. Mm-hmm. And it's not sexual equity, it's equity in the actual relationship where I love the whole of you, not just the whole in you. Mm-hmm. And for you guys, you need to switch your mindset on what it means to invest in your relationship. First of all, just wanting a great relationship will not give it to you. Everybody wants to be rich, everybody wants to be skinny, and everybody wants to be in love. Very few people are those things. Very few people are rich, very few people are in shape, and very few people have an amazing fucking marriage. Why is that? I'll tell you why it is. What?
Investment.
It's you have been conditioned by a government and by a society ran by mediocre people to make you mediocre and to make you believe that investing in a house, investing in a car, investing in a bullshit education that's not going to do anything for you is way more important than investing in who you are to who you become. It's like this. This is very simple, and I know I'm getting worked up about this because I'm watching men ruin their families, ruin their lives, and really fuck themselves over.
And their children and next generation.
Fuck everything up without understanding this one mentality and go, wait a second. What makes a boat get through the storm? The boat? If everybody has the same boat, not everybody survives that storm. You know what makes it? The captain. The captain.
That's good.
And you motherfuckers are the captain of your ship, and you won't do shit about figuring out how to become a good captain. You will walk around the boat and go, this fucking boat, that fucking junior sailor, where's the sails? And you will complain about everything. And yet you're a absolute piss poor excuse for a captain. And you want to blame everybody else, but you won't invest in yourself to become a better captain. I want to be a better captain. Then invest in yourself, motherfucker. If you can't save up $5,000 or $10,000 to hire the best coach in the world on how to teach you how to become this, to get what you want, you're a fake. You're a fucking fake. But Keith, I'm worried about scams. You know why you're worried about scams? Because people told you to be worried about scams. How many times have you really fucking been scammed? Tell me. Probably zero. But you know what? You were raised on news that made you afraid of everything. That you had to believe in something other than yourself. You don't even believe in yourself. The reason why a lot of guys won't invest in themselves, Jesse, they don't believe in themselves. Fucking hell, dude. We are not married and we don't have what we have unless we both say we're investing in ourselves. Time, energy, whatever it is. You got anything to add to this?
No,
I'm fucking
love
fired up, dude.
I totally agree with all that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was a carpenter making $9 an hour that said, fuck this. There's got to be a better way. I went and hired a coach and ended up making millions of dollars in real estate. I was fat as fuck and I said, I'm tired of being fucking fat. I hired a trainer. He got me in the best shape of my life and taught me the skills. I ruined my fucking marriages. My first one, I shouldn't have never been married in that one in the beginning. That is part of that. It just is what it is. But the second one, I absolutely fucking dragged through the gutter because I didn't have the skills and understanding of actually what it meant to be a great husband, what it meant to be a great partner, what it meant. And all of that comes down to the principle of investment. You are an investment. The reason why so many people that watch this are like, oh, I want Jesse. Well, Jesse's fucking awesome. You're amazing. You're my favorite human being I've ever met. You're my favorite human being. But guess what? If I was a piece of shit, you would have never been with me. Mm-mm. And if you were a piece of shit, I wouldn't have been with you. Mm-hmm. And yet everyone, they go, I want high-octane relationship. You ain't high-octane, motherfucker. You're the lowest octane on planet Earth, and yet you want this thing. wanting something and not actually committing and going and investing in your time, energy, and money to go get it, you're a fucking fake. You're a fraud. I call you a fraud. And that's the truth. With that being said,
I love it. Yes.
It's what it is. That's the step of being a player. And there's so much more to it. So you should go to marriedgame.com. You should book a session with us and talk with us and figure out whatever you have to do to figure out how to change you, because I don't have Jesse. There is no married game. There is not this love affair that you and I have experienced without me changing, and I had to invest in coaches to figure that out. But B, what people don't realize, and this is the funniest thing, is you and I still have a coach that we pay not cheap, because we go every week, and guess what? We thrive because of him. We survive and thrive because of that
Definitely.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that man. Mm-hmm. So this isn't something I go, oh man, I should say this so we can make more sales. Fuck you in the sales. I don't care about that. I care about you crying and sniveling in my DMs, which I'm here for you. But when the answer is you need to get the course, you need to fucking take action, you need to actually learn how to do this, and you go, oh, I can't, or I need to ask my wife, or I don't know, let me think about it. Fuck you, dude. You're not going to... The whole first test of will you invest in yourself is the first fucking step on the ladder to get where you want to go. And you go, oh, no, I don't want that. You've been conditioned to believe you don't want that. The truth is you do want that, but you're scared as shit because you're a pussy. That's why you're scared. You're a pussy because you don't do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. So therefore, you don't have any results of anything you've ever tried or ever done any in your life. But guess what? Because you didn't do the work. We have this happen with guys in married game. They'll come in and they won't do their return and report. I'm like, your return and report is for you, motherfucker, not me. It's for you. If you realize that your return and report is one of the most important things for you to actually get in the result you want.
It shows you the facts.
The facts.
Mm-hmm.
The facts. So ask
without
yourself,
telling yourself in your brain, oh, it's okay.
Yep.
She's fine. We're fine. Facts.
You know what? I got to say this too. This might be the best thing I ever say in my life right here. Most people believe that discipline and grit and these things are a trait that you're either born with or not born with. Most people think that you're either born a player or you're not a player. Fact of the matter is everything comes down to a skill set. Mm-hmm. The reason I was able to have sex with hundreds of women and why women want me to this very day is because I understand what the fuck goes on. I go, oh, that's how this works. I invested and I'm paying attention to what's going on. But it was a skill set. It was a skill set. I was a carpenter / pastor / had sex with one lady until I wasn't born this way, but yet I created this from feedback, from honest people like you, from investing in myself and a coach, everything. So what I'm telling you is the reason your marriage sucks is because you don't have the skills to make it better. The only way you get the skills is either through a lot of fucking pain and you figure it out somehow randomly on your own, which is less than 1% of the people. You're not it. I can promise you. You're not it. You're not that 1%. How do you know, Keith? Because you're watching this and you're jerking off to fucking porn because your wife won't fuck you. I know that because that's who watches this. And there's some guys that have their shit together that watch this and they think it's kind of entertaining and they really like hearing what you have to say. If anything I'm saying is true and you're like, it's all fucking true. The second thing that you need to understand is that the only way you can acquire a skill, if you don't want to learn it the long, hard way, is you pay somebody that will show you, here's exactly what to do. And you know what I'm so proud of? I'm so fucking proud of is that I make an agreement with every guy that comes to a married game. If you do the work and this doesn't work, I don't want your fucking money. And I'm so confident. We have never had to issue a refund for one simple reason. It fucking works if you do the work. And if that's the case, you go, I want to do the work, I want to learn. You're trying, if you run to Los Angeles, yet you're trying to get to New York, it doesn't matter. Let's say you're in Kansas City and you want to get to Los Angeles and you want to get to New York and you start running as hard as you can to Los Angeles. It doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't matter how hard you run. It doesn't matter. I'm trying everything. You're running the wrong way, you dumb fuck. You're running the wrong way. Turn around and start running the other way. No, but I'm running so hard, Keith. The wrong way. So fucking irritating, dude. That a man, and I've told guys, if you're not willing to do whatever it takes to fix this marriage, my program's not for you because you're not willing to do whatever it takes to fix your marriage, which means you're going to puss out. You're not going to do the hard shit. You're not going to confront and be honest. Remember when we were in the spa telling about what we really want to feel? That conversation was a little bit awkward. But guess what? It led to a conversation a couple weeks ago where we go, hey, you know what? We want to help each other feel each other's sexual fantasies. That's a really fucking awkward conversation if you don't have a lot of the other ones. But guess what? You'll never fucking have that conversation because you're going to complain about how hard you're running in the wrong fucking direction. I'm on fire today, and I'm fucking tired of guys not investing in who they are. You won't invest the time. One of the things to be a player, actually have a body that's fuckable. Oh, what's that going to take? Not buying a new program, going to the old program and actually fucking doing it to a T. All right, anything you want to close up? I'm gonna let my shoulders shimmy and let me get a little bit loose here. I want to commend you. I do know I'm a maniac.
Yeah.
And I have moments like this, but I have moments like this a lot in various ways because I want to hold myself. I want to be the best version of me. I'm so fucking tired of being a mediocre version of me. It fucking disgusts me that I'm not where I want to be, and I know it's all because I made the decision to not invest in myself. I didn't get up early enough to do that workout, and so therefore I just let it slide. Oh, it'll be okay. I'm so over that.
I love that you say that because I know that you're capable.
That's
of
why.
So much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your wife knows you're capable. That's why, dude, I used to think you were a judgy, controlling cunt.
Yep.
And I go, oh, no. She just loves me and wants to hold me to a higher standard that she knows I can be.
That I know you can
That
do.
you know I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're better.
Exposure is the gateway to expansion. Exposing yourself and going, man, I'm not. I'm going to talk. I'm going to start talking. I'm going to continue to keep talking like this. The guys in my group know I talk like this a lot. I'm going to start continuing to talk like this to the marketplace because it's sometimes I believe the only way men actually hear it. When a man raises his voice and says, hey, motherfucker, what is going on? Stop all this bullshit. And you know, I'm back in that, I got my Redwood regimen going on and I'm on day 3 and it just takes me a couple days.
You get on fire.
I snap right back and go there. I am. And I start to love doing hard shit. You know what? I saved my cold plunge for tonight when it's cold as fuck and it's raining like a motherfucker and I can do it. You know why? Because I want it to be as hard as I can be because I want to be better. Mm-hmm. I'm going to commend you for putting up with me, A, but B, you also invest in yourself. You're always working on yourself. You're doing your nightly routines. You're doing the things that are so important to you. You don't miss. You don't skip because it's a standard of who you are.
Yeah, I'm just quieter about it, but I'm always trying to be better.
You are
internally,
but it shows and it continues to keep happening. So it makes me more attracted to you, and I'm like, this is the sexiest bitch ever, dude. I love this lady. Not only just do I want to like touch every piece of flesh that you own, but I love having conversations with you. Mm-hmm. I love saying, well, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
So anyhow, I
keep you on your toes.
Yeah. And that is,
I'm just playing the game. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, we've had an amazing time today. Jesse, you're such a joy. You are such a joy. And gang, we want you to share this. If you've gotten any value out of this, share it on social media and tag us. We'll repost it. Share it with your friend who needs to hear it. Hey, man, you should check out this link. Share it. Why? So that our podcast gets fucking massive. You know why? Because if we have a massive podcast, that means there's a massive amount of men that are stepping up to do what I'm talking about right now, and they're saving the fabric of their community and their country, because I don't believe that 80% of divorces actually have to happen. But if you as a man step up and go, dude, I need more of this. I need this fucking fire in my life, and I need to be held accountable to do these things, then you need to head to marriedgame.com, watch that video, book a call with us, get your ass off the fucking sidelines into the game so that you can actually play this game so your wife goes, wow, there he is. There he fucking is. So share this with men who need to hear it. And as always, keep crushing it. That shit is contagious.
There you are.